Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Joe Martin Show. Today I'm here with Favian Villa. So can you reintroduce yourself? Because it's been a while since I had you on.
Dude,
so.
yeah. So it's been a year. We were talking earlier. We had done a show, or we had done a podcast. It was like March.
I think it was March
or April, around that time. And yeah, my name's Favian Villa. I'm a local artist, musician, singer-songwriter here in like the McAllen tri-state area. Yeah, the PSJ, McAllen. You just RGV, yeah.
They should just combine the RGB at this point just to get like more funding because all the cities are just like clustered together.
Bro, at this point, just make the RGV like its own state, bro. Like, just make it a state. Like, oh, we're gonna go to the RGV. It's like a whole state and stuff.
Yeah, they can make it their own city. It'll be like much bigger. It'll be like besides the San Antonio, or like close to enough.
Dude, yeah. So yeah, I'm a local musician artist. That's what I do. I do mostly like pop music and acoustic music as well. But yeah,
It's pretty
that's
good.
who I am.
It's very solid pop music because I remember when I first heard some of your songs, I'm like, this doesn't sound like it's from here. Like it has like a very different sound. Because I'm used to like the rock music, the punk music, and then when you did pop, it sounded very different from the I guess what's considered the norm here.
Yeah, definitely. I know that for sure. There's a big call for like rock music, punk music, all that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, like there are really talented artists out
No,
there.
they're not.
This guy, like they all
I'm gonna get in trouble already.
Yeah, everyone sucks here, man.
No,
No, dude, this guy's already gonna get canceled.
You know, the first thing to get showing on Instagram stories.
It's like the
Joe Martin, this is the scene.
Joe Martin against the RGV. No, but like
yeah, it's very different. It's like it's very hard. Like right now, it's been like very focused on like the hardcore music, and you're just very different with the pop music.
yeah, no, I mean there's a good variety out there of just like rock, metal, pop. I mean post like punk, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like don't get me wrong, that's something like I like listening to. I'm not like a hater of rock or metal. I usually listen to that kind of music like at the gym and stuff when I'm like motivated.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've just gravitated a little bit more towards like acoustic sounding, pop sounding, just like that singer-songwriter type.
Mm-hmm.
I've been compared a lot to like artists that are like super like poppy, like Ed Sheeran that's like acoustic, or like Shawn Mendes in high school. People would tell me like, you sound like Shawn Mendes. I'm just like, I guess, but yeah, that's what I do. I really enjoy, doing that kind of music.
And I think it's a great thing that you're already being compared to certain artists because sometimes musicians struggle like where to market themselves. Like, because I know the commenting people say like, oh, I don't know what genre I found her, and they always like say that stuff, and it kind of bothers me because like as a band, you should know more or less what you sound like or who you can compare yourself towards. Because like when it comes to promoters, they want to know like, okay, will you fit in with this lineup or not? Mm-hmm. And so you kind of gotta know what your sound is.
Yeah, definitely, and. Yeah, I mean, it's so awkward. I don't know if other like musicians or other artists get this, but like when people tell me like, "Oh, you sound like this guy," I'm just like, I don't know how to take it. Like, I'm just like, thanks, like, I appreciate it, But I mean, it's like kind of like, I guess it's cool that people like connect my music with like people's other music, like other famous people's music and stuff like that, mainstream, and that's cool. It's a big compliment and stuff, but it's kind of like. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. It's kind of like one of those full circle moments where you're just like, whoa, And yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I've been also experimenting with different sounds and stuff like that. I dabble. I used to even way before like I joined like the music scene.
Yeah,
I had like a little shindig with my old friends, and we honestly did like rock, metal music. Like, I'm trying to think of bands like. We did music like Metallica. Like this was when I was like 15 or 16. We just jamming out and stuff. And so I do have an appreciation for like this kind of music that's out there, the scene and stuff like that. They're great artists out there. Mm-hmm. And I've been experimenting with different music. I know we were talking about it before we started recording.
Yeah, that you're doing more like synth music, right?
Yeah, more recently it's been like kind of like synth pop. I mean, I'm staying pop. I'm not like I was mentioning like I'm not turning to a rapper. Like one day I wake up like I'm gonna be pop. One day I wake up I'm a rapper
and then
country music or whatever. Yeah. But no, I mean I'm sticking with pop and synth music, synth wave, whatever people want to categorize it.
Yeah,
it's kind of been like my go-to right now. And I think one of the biggest inspirations for that like genre that I've been doing is I don't know if you know this artist named Tory Lanez.
The name sounds very familiar, but
he was actually a rapper like He's very close to like R&B rap type stuff. And around 2021, he started doing like this completely opposite of his sound. And he's a mainstream rapper.
Yeah.
And he dropped like this album called Alone at Prom, and it gives like the 80s vibes. It's all synth. Even his vocal mixing is like it's 80s.
Yeah.
So I was just like, dude, this is such a vibe. This is such a bop. So I was just like,
was it similar to like The Weeknd or something or no?
very similar to The Weeknd. Like you could compare them to like The Weeknd and Tory Lanez, like the 80s
stuff,
styles. Yeah. And like that inspired me. So I was just like, dude, I would be driving around. I'd be listening to that music. I'd be like working out and I'm listening to that music. Like it was just like always on my mind. So I started, looking into it and stuff like that. And yeah, it was just really inspiring. So the last song that I dropped, I know that we were talking about it also. I recently dropped a song called Ivory Skin, which you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming platforms under my name, Favian Villa. But that song was all synth pop.
Yeah.
Like the way I styled the vocals, the way I recorded my instruments, everything was pop.
What was the story behind that song?
Okay, we can get into the song. So that song, Ivory Skin, was about, it's actually a love story. It's a love song, which was dedicated to my girlfriend. And she's actually the cover art.
Oh,
like that like girl is like the cover art, yeah. And the reason why I named it Ivory Skin was because she has very like light complected skin. And so it was, I can get into the story and how we met and stuff like that. But it was February that I was at a coffee shop doing homework, and I saw this girl walk by, like walk into the store, and I was just like, wow, that girl's really pretty.
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't want to go up to her because one, I looked really bad. I had just gotten out of the gym, and she was like with her mom or something, and I was just like, I'm just gonna sit here. But I just couldn't focus. I was just focusing on that girl, and I was just like, wow, that girl's really pretty. And she left. She got her drink. I remember exactly what she was wearing, what her drink was. And 2 months later, come to find out that girl that I saw at the coffee shop was my cousin's best friend since pre-K.
Oh, wow.
So that girl that I remember seeing at a coffee shop, couldn't remember why I kind of like familiarized her. Turns out that my cousin and her were best friends since pre-K. They grew up together and stuff like that. So my cousin, being the kind of cousin that she is, she did like Cupid. She played Cupid. She was telling me like, hey, this girl likes you. She was telling her, hey, my cousin likes you. So she was like kind of like bringing us together. And she was like, hey, he's going to come over to my cousin's. Like, do you want to be there? And then she asked me, hey, we're going to go over to our cousin's. She's going to be there. Do you want to meet her? So that day I met her, and then, we hit it off really well. We started dating, and I was just like, usually when I do my song process, I think we had mentioned this the last time, but I think we did talk about it the last time or not.
You can you should refresh it for people who are new because
so
it's run a little bit.
Yeah, so for how it runs and stuff like that, I was trying to think like, am I still doing everything the same I did last year, or am I doing it different? But usually I'll make like a track. I'll get some guitars, some synth sounds that I really like, and then I'll record some stuff, right? So I'll make the instrumental track before I like write the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes it happens where both happen at the same time. Like I'm playing chords, and it's sad chords, and the lyrics just flow. Yeah. So when I was writing this song, or when I was producing the song, because I produce my beats, and I pretty much try to do everything.
You do everything, yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, it's not like Creative Cave like that level. And I mean, they're great and stuff, but I'm trying to just kind of cover all my bases and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta be self-sufficient, because sometimes like you don't know like who else is doing what, and because they take more time, you're relying on other people. So,
and what I really do like about the way I record my music is it helps me, or the way I want to express my ideas, the way I want to get my thoughts into like sound. That's just the best way for me. So when I have something in my head, whether it's like the drums or like the synths, I know what I want it to sound like, opposed to like someone else doing it for me. Yeah, I'm like, oh, change this. So I mean, I guess it's a good thing when I can like come up with a track and I know what I like, and then just have like a real producer just remaster everything that's already. Yeah. So I guess it's good to be self-sufficient, like you mentioned. And so I was writing this song Ivory Skin, going back to that topic, and I was writing Ivory Skin, and the lyrics just came to me. So I was actually on FaceTime with my girlfriend when I was making the song.
Oh wow!
I was like, what do you think about this? She's like, like lower the synth or like higher the bass. And she has an ear for music too. She sings.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I wrote the song and everything, and I was just like, dude. And I asked her like, dude, do you want to like sing on it like in the background? So she came over, we recorded her vocals, and I have her in the background. If you listen to the song Ivory Skin, I have her in there. Like you have to like really pay attention, but she's in there, and it was a really cool experience. And so it was just like a whole mix of elements of like the synth pop becoming very fond for me, and then like the lyrics of dedicating the song to my girlfriend. And then like we showed that song to our friends, and they were just like, dude, that song's awesome. Like you need to like post it. And I guess they were just hyping us up, and I was just like, dude, I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how we wrote that song and where that came from. It was completely different. I mean, it's a completely different style, I guess, from just acoustic. Because last year when we did the podcast, I had just dropped, or I was just dropping Hero, which was a pop song, and I think I already had dropped it. Mm-hmm. And it was very pop, very like radio pop, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing I told you. Like it sounds like something you would hear on the radio. Like it was very well done.
Yeah, and that same year, towards July, I started recording or from those few months, I recorded an EP called Broken People, and that's also on Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming platforms. And I believe it was 6 songs that I recorded, or that I put in the EP. Mm-hmm. I had to, in the end, I had to pick and choose which ones I wanted in.
Yeah.
And it tells a story of just like more of like it took like a darker, more meaningful turn for like the reason why I wrote that EP. Because I know when I wrote Hero was also very much like a love-inspired song, stuff like that. But Broken People of 2022, that was my EP last year. That one was more of like mental health awareness.
Yeah.
I know people that were battling with depression, suicidal tendencies, things of that nature. And so when I wrote those songs, I kind of tried using it with an expression of giving people like a hope, and just to be real with people, like just to be real, like depression's real, like, suicide are real thoughts. Like those are things that are real. And it's a little bit like iffy to talk about, like, oh, suicide, like all these things.
Yeah, people, they get scared of talking about it because it gets very personal.
Yeah, it gets very personal, and it's a very not looked down upon. I mean, more if it's like a touchy, like more, people feel that, And
it shouldn't be. Like, it's kind of weird because like it's something so important that you should talk about it, but for whatever people just don't want to talk about it, it's kind of like, oh no.
Yeah, and it's just like... And
then like as a person, like if you say like you have depression, people like label you like, oh, this person's...
Yeah, definitely. I know what that means, and when I wrote that EP, I had to dig deep, and I was just reminiscing, remembering my experiences with depression, anxiety, heartbreak, all those kind of things. And I was just like, dude, going back the chapters of my life, the years of my life. And I used that energy to make this form of art, and one of the songs that I did was an acoustic song. The last song actually on the track, which was we were talking about earlier, I Fall Into My Knees. That was the last song that I recorded. And I remember like I was asleep. I woke up like at random, like 3 a.m. at night. And I was just like, I just started playing these chords. And I was like, what if I tune my guitar down? And I just started playing, and it sounded really nice. And I was just like, dude, the melody came to my head. The lyrics came to my head. It was one of those like
in the moment.
In the moments it just happened, And I recorded it on my memos, and then I just left it like that. The next day, I just recorded the guitar, recorded the vocals, and that was the last track. And I did the least. I did the bare minimum on that song. Yeah. Like I literally just like recorded my vocals, tuned them, compressed, and threw reverb. Like that's literally all I did. It was very minimalistic. The synth that I used was like it was just like a very dull synth bass sound, and I ended up putting some layers to it, and that song actually became one of my most famous songs. And when I tell people like, oh yeah, you know, my music, and a lot of people recognize that song and they remember me for that, by that, you know, like, oh.
And I remember you were messaging me about it, like it was popping off. I'm like, what?
Dude, and I was just like, dude, what's going on? Like, I recorded this song at, like, I just recorded it from my memos, bro. Like, I was like,
something that happened to you because I think it was like at night or in the morning. Like, it was like late. It was kind of late. I'm like, why is this guy messaging me?
I was just, dude, and then like, dude, it was super random. I had some issues with like YouTube and stuff, but and I was like messaging Joe like all random.
Yeah,
but,
like, what's going on?
But yeah, I mean, I was just like, I didn't expect that song to go really
to pop off.
I guess like more traction than I had ever gotten. I mean, I think the most that I've gotten like from traction was maybe like 1,000 views like on YouTube, maybe like on a cover, but that song really took over the traction. I was just like opened my eyes really because I didn't pay for like streams. I didn't pay for people to promote my music.
Yeah, the fact that people were like copying and like re-uploading it themselves.
Yeah, definitely on YouTube right now. There's a few videos out there. They just re-uploaded my song, and I'm just like, whoa.
How you try putting it on TikTok and like slowing it down and then doing like the fast version?
I haven't.
You should.
I should try it, right?
Make it into a sound.
I think that would be really cool because I know TikTok's really big about slowing or speeding stuff up. Or like making the voice really deep. Yeah. Yeah. I gotta try that now that you're giving me ideas. But yeah, dude, that song right now on Spotify has over 7,000 streams. I mean, it's almost hitting 8,000. On YouTube, it's got 189,000 views.
Yeah, close to 200,000.
Close to 200,000. I'm just like, dude, where is this? And I remember looking at the demographics when the song was just like peaking. I remember the song hit like 600 streams in like a few days.
Yeah. And
I was just like, dude, that's really cool. Like 600 streams. That's more than like any of my other songs.
Yeah.
And like a week later, it was like at 1,500. I'm like, what? And then like it had this weird, huge jump. And like a month, it went up by like 4,000. And I was just like, whoa. Like, and on the Spotify artist app, it gives you like a rundown of like where these people are listening from, even like gender demographics.
Yeah.
And it was like I was getting streams from like Norway, like streams from like Germany, like random places. Like
I wonder, like a show or some YouTuber like needs your song and like people start looking for it
and just started looking for it. I mean, maybe. I mean,
because it happened to me once a long time ago when I had my old Twitter. I saw like a sudden spike on one of my tweets, and it turned out like some Brazilian YouTuber. I don't know from what he was doing, but like he featured one of my tweets, and he was like very famous, and so like like a bunch of like it was not even Spanish, it was like Portuguese people started commenting on my tweets. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Like, what are they saying?
And then like one of them like they translated and said like, oh no, like some YouTuber featured your tweet, and so like in this country your tweet's famous. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's crazy. You know how like memes are famous in different areas?
Yeah.
Like, we have our memes.
So maybe something happened with your music where some other country, somewhere in Europe, they need your
something
song.
happened. Yeah, I'm sure something to that effect. And I still to this day I can't pinpoint it. I know that the issue that I had with YouTube, and we talked about it when it was happening, is that my music distributor, they automatically upload my music to its own, like, you know, like it's like Ed Sheeran topic or like Justin Bieber topic. So they made one for me, and that channel, I don't think I have access, or haven't looked to going about getting access to that channel. And like that's the one where it has like the 189,000 views. So it's somewhere along the line. I don't know where all those 100,000 views came from. If I had access to them, I would be able to see
you would find out easily because it'll show you like the demographics, whether it be the age, gender, what country, and what source. So it'll tell you like if it's coming from Instagram, YouTube search, or like anything like that. It's very detailed. So
wow, that's really cool.
That's information that you should really go after.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to YouTube. And the only reason why is because it's not my channel, like where I can have access to it. I have a personal YouTube channel where I've done like videos and stuff, but I'm just like, dang, if there was like a way to link them together, you know, that would have been really cool.
Or maybe you have to talk with the distributor. I think they'll probably have to be like the ones that you have to talk to.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them. I really don't know how to go about everything, but I'll look around, especially because DistroKid is like an automated like distributor. It's not like one dude that's like doing everything. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they have like some kind of contact us. Yeah, I'll reach out to them because I mean
that's very valuable information. Because like once you start releasing new music, you can start looking for those demographics and like where to target them.
Definitely, that's one of the things I'll be looking towards. But yeah, other than from last year to this year, it's just been the new music that I've dropped. I did take a little break from doing some music after Broken People, the EP fall release. Sorry, after I released Broken People, I released another single in October, and that one didn't get any traction at all.
Oh.
Like it's one of those hit or miss, you know. Like you had those, I don't want to say one hit wonders, right? But that song was probably like the one hit wonder in my case. The next song that I dropped was just like a song. I mean, I'm still proud of the music I'm putting out there. I'm not like discouraged, but I know that some local artists or some even musicians can even or bands can contest to that as well, that like when we release music and let's say you get like some traction and then like you want to ride that wave and you like release something again and it's just like it doesn't do well, you know. Like even YouTube people see that. Like you see on like, I'm pretty sure some videos you have are like at 1,000, and then like some videos are like at like 100, like 100, you know. And so, you know, like I saw that and it was like an eye-opening experience. I know that I wasn't trying to like, when I saw all these streams and all these things, I was like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. You know? Like I didn't think about that. I didn't think that either. But I was just like, oh, okay. Like as long as I'm putting out music that I enjoy and that I feel can touch other people or like other people can relate to, then I'm happy with that. I don't care about streams. I don't care about like, you know.
And I think it's bad to be looking at streams because let's say you're not getting the success, that can like hurt you. And even if you do become successful and then you fall off, that's gonna hurt even worse because you're just chasing those numbers and it's not worth it. It's just better to be happy, release your music, and whatever happens. Yeah,
it's a gamble that some people play, and it's something that we have to be careful about. And I know that for me, like in that moment, right, I was seeing the streams. I'm like, whoa, that's super cool. Streams. That was always on my mind with the song.
Yeah.
When I thought of my music, I was like, oh, that song has 6,000 streams, and then I check it like a week later, oh, it has 7,000 streams. But like more recently, like those last 2 songs that I've dropped, and even with the upcoming projects that I have going on, I'm just like, dude, I just want to jam out, like have fun, like put music that people enjoy.
Yeah.
Especially because, you know, like in the Valley, whether you're famous or not, for some reason, everyone in the Valley listens to everyone's music. Like I know a lot of people, local artists that listen to my music, and I know of a lot of local artists that I listen to their music. And it becomes like a community where like you just kind of build upon. And I remember last year when we had done the podcast, I was like a music scene newbie. Yeah. Like I was like very new. I was just like, yeah, like I have a few songs, and you're like, hey, this is really good production. This is really good music. I'm just like, well, yeah, like I guess so. And so like, you know, I started like showing other people, local people, and going to different little shows, and you know, like, oh, you do music, let's trade, and it just becomes like a friendly community.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, like I have a few other projects that I'm working on, and I'm looking forward to releasing that and sharing that with the people.
Do you want to get to like the projects you're working on or no? Or not yet?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we can get into. I know that one of the things that we had talked about also was like the drama of like the scene.
Oh yeah.
Like we were kind of, you know, talking about that, and unfortunately it's drama's like everywhere, whether it's like corporations, whether it's businesses.
Because like when whatever drama happens with the scene, like if you ever work, like actually have a workplace, like there's always workplace drama. Like there's people who don't like each other, people who like each other, and then you don't even have to have a reason not to like someone. Sometimes people just don't get along for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
And so I mean that just happens, and it's a reality because I'm not sure how many people like in the scene have a job, because there's a lot of like 18-year-olds or college people who they don't have a job yet. And if you do have a job, well, I mean, you understand that there's conflicts that happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like last year and around that time, or actually a few months afterwards, I stopped. I was going to school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was just like a young, 19-year-old young kid doing music, and I was just going to school. And then after that, I took a semester off to go to work. So I was just working, and like it becomes a real thing, especially with the kind of line of work that I had. I was working in a school district, so I couldn't just politics. Dude, politics is a big thing, and I could just imagine like if people are talking shit like about like the scene, or like, oh, that artist, this, and they started like throwing dirt out. Like unfortunately, like that affects people's like careers. You know, like at least for me, right? Like I want to, well, ideally with the degree and stuff like that, like I want to maybe teach. You know.
Yeah.
But like, let's say something happens along the line that I was in a band and I get arrested for whatever reason, and it's like that like will trail to you, you know?
Will, yeah.
So I'm just like, dude, like for me, I'm very, and I like to say that we can say that for the both of us because I don't really get into drama, and I don't think
No.
you either. Right? I mean, it's
No,
just
it's
like
like I always avoid it. Like to me, the way I see drama, like I don't want to get involved, but like I'll be entertained hearing about it.
Yeah.
because that would happen a lot. Like when I used to work at Home Depot, that's one thing I changed. Now I work at a school district too, but when I worked at Home Depot, there was these managers who they would get told by like the top managers to do certain things,
okay,
and they would tell their workers to do their job,
Oh, no.
and then they would take credit for it.
that's so.
And I'm like,
bad,
what the
man.
fuck's and they would get mad because one of my coworkers, he would take pictures like, no, we're the ones doing the work, and then he would send it to the top boss.
Wow.
That way, that other guy wouldn't get credit.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
then they get in trouble for it. Right? So they get
yeah, because like, hey, we told you to do it. Why aren't you doing it? And they're like,
yeah, dude, it's funny like seeing people just like run around with no heads, like chickens with no heads.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some drama that are serious. There's some issues like in the scene that need to be addressed for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
there is injustices out there. I don't know if you heard about that that neo-Nazi group.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm not still a little bit unaware or like uninformed about it, but there was like a band in the valley that was like
it's not from the Betty, but there's a band coming. Or there's either one or two bands, or I don't know how many bands there are coming down from somewhere else that supposedly have neo-Nazi affiliation and that they're gonna perform at the dungeon. That's as far as I know. That's what has been said on those Instagram stories.
yeah, whatever been released to the public. And so
Yeah.
that's like super iffy, dude. Like that's a big touchy thing, you know, like I mean, I don't know, like I wouldn't go to their shows, you know, like
Yeah.
if that was me, I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe they have really good music and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it becomes like very like when you mix politics and music, it just becomes interesting. Like,
Yeah,
and like I like to just kind of vibe to myself. Like I don't want to say like I'm in the forefront of the music scene because there are people that are like they're booming. Like, you know, I know we had mentioned like
the biggest one right now is Glare. They're really
Glare,
they
like
have like I think 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
that's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is amazing. Glare. I mean, also like these local bands that I see them always like all over the scene, like the Blow Up Dolls. Let me see who else. I know individual artists like Orpheus Bloom. Like these guys are out there. Like they're in the forefront of like venues and stuff like that. And it's good to see them and stuff like that and do their thing. And you know, like in the end, we don't, or at least for me, in the end, I don't wish anyone ill. I
Yeah.
hope that everyone in their own respectable area can prosper and stuff like that. And although I'm not like at the forefront, I mean, I see this as like someone as a bystander, and I still, you know, I feel like everyone should have like an equal opportunity, you know,
Yeah.
regardless of like whether it's, you know, what genre they are or whatever. But I know that like, yeah, it can get very iffy. Like
It could get very
interesting.
iffy. And that's, going off what you're saying, I think it becomes harder for certain genres to play compared to other genres because when it comes to pop, like I don't know like where you guys perform. I know like coffee shops is a thing,
Yeah, I mean like,
but other than that, I'm like, where else?
dude, like
There's open mics, but I mean,
open mics or coffee shops, and then one of the biggest ones that has been doing me well is the McAllen Food Truck Park.
yeah.
That's the one
They're
where
very open.
they're very open with different music. I know that they do like just last weekend there was Martin Leon.
Martin Leon,
He was there at the McAllen Food Park, and I remember seeing like the stories, and then like the next day it was like a worship.
Yeah,
set.
there's like a Christian
It was
worship
like a
thing.
Christian worship set, and I was just like, dude. And then like a few weeks prior, there was like a conjunto like
They
type
have
thing.
everything.
I'm like, they have everything, dude. And then like a month ago, I was there and stuff. So I know that it's a little bit of a more open area
Yeah.
for different talent, And the guy, I can't remember his name at the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that runs the Ruby Red Productions.
Yeah.
He's been really helpful. He's really like encouraging and stuff like that. And I know we also talked about, you know, the band that you're
Prison
you're, you know, representing. And I liked what you were telling me about how like they like to not just stick to this like to the gig scenes.
Yeah.
But they also like to go
They're
to like,
very versatile
you
with
know,
their
open
with their
stuff
music.
like
They can
that.
fit in either demographics because some bands in the scenes, when it comes to these like food truck places, it's kind of family friendly.
Yeah.
And so like you can have certain bands where like they're very like
provocative,
provocative,
like,
stuff
you know,
like
just
that.
like expressing themselves differently. you
very
know?
crazy. Yeah, like very to the extreme, I guess. Those they won't really get hired because like it's a very people are like if you're eating food and you're in tacos and you see that like someone screaming and you're kind of like
You're like, oh.
yeah, it's kind of like I don't want to see this.
Yeah, it's
But like certain bands, they're versatile. Martin Leon, Persimpium, and I know there's other people like David
White Crow.
White Crow.
Also, they're really good.
David
Guzman, was it Guzman or no?
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
Yeah, him
Yes,
too.
he's doing good stuff out there. Like those are really well diverse people, and I feel like for the most part, I just stuck mostly to like the food park, coffee scene,
Yeah,
open mic scene.
And to be honest, I'm like those places play much better than regular gigs.
Yeah, and like it's a different environment. I'd say that like, you know, like when you go to those gigs and stuff like that, they're more like for the enjoyment of the music.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not necessarily going to see the people.
Just see the people, yeah.
You're going to eat and just have a good time. The music is a plus because for me, I feel so comfortable playing there because it's like I just need to do my own thing. I got my set list. I got my own thing. I'll take requests also, and like just people eating their food and having a good time. They'll drop tips, $10-15. I'm just like, dude, cool. Like I didn't have to talk to them. I didn't have to punish for them,
Crazy.
right? But it's just kind of like I can just go play my music, share my new music and stuff like that. And there are some people that they'll be eating, or there are some couples, some people out there that they'll like sit and watch and listen to my
Yeah,
music.
because they also have like bleachers. Like if you haven't been there at the McKellen Food Park, sometimes they have bleachers near the artists, so you can sit down and like actually.
Yeah, and just enjoy the music. And it's not like a thing where like I'm packing out the parking lot, right? It's because it's not like that kind of thing, right? But I like to just, it's a little subtle for me, and it's a step into the scene more. And you know, it's a lot more than what I would have been doing last year. Last year I was barely doing anything. It was just everything. All my music was just in my room. It was just here in my bedroom.
Posting it online.
And posting online, I was just like, okay, well, like that was all I did. I didn't put myself out there. I wasn't gigging around. And I guess what really helped me out was coffee shops and open mics. One particularly that they had started doing open mics was this coffee shop in Edinburgh called Barista Coffee. So I think they're off of Veterans. I think so, or Nebraska. I don't know, but they're in Edinburgh, and like the guy was just a former DJ, I believe. I think he was a former DJ, so he had a PA. So he was just like, "Hey, dude, like you play music, like you want to, we got the open mic," and I went, and he's like, we don't have any rates to pay you, but you can put out like a tip jar. I was like, that's cool. Like, I mean, it was my first little coffee gig, and I had a few songs. I was super nervous. I was shaking, and like my voice is cracking, but it was a good experience to start getting some confidence. And that moved to like different coffee shops, and then I did restaurant gigs and stuff like that. And then I finally reached out to the McAllen Food Park, and that's when it became more of like you're getting paid. There's rates for it and stuff like that. And then on top of that, whatever you make from tips. And it's been really good. I mean, one of the things that, at least me, I think Favian Villa would stay in that area of like just open, friendly, family-friendly gigs. Because the music lines up with it, dude. Like my music's very pop, very laid back. It lines up with that kind of environment. Like I'm not going to go to I'm not gonna go to some. I'm trying to think of a band on the spot, like the Blow Up Dolls show, and like get my guitar and start like singing like some Ed Sheeran songs. Like I'm not gonna do that, right? Like and like all right, get a mosh pit here, and like we're like I'm singing like little lullaby songs, like so. At least on that end, I would like to just keep doing that there. And I know we had talked about some of the upcoming projects, and we can talk about that now.
Yeah.
So like that, this actually bleeds in perfectly because I was just trying to get some like a band going on and stuff like that, and trying to like also open like an area into like like the more scene, more gigs type, more rock,
the
shows basically, and I mean I got some friends going on, and we're still in the works, and I was like, hey, you want to jam out? I met a drummer. He was really cool. Like we had the same mind, same likeness and stuff like that. So then he had a friend that was a guitarist. I was like, hey, do you want to come over and jam out? And we just started jamming out and stuff like that. And it's in the works right now. I really don't have a name. I don't have like a specific like theme or anything like that. All I know is it's like it's very alternative, indie.
Was there like any like bands you could compare it to, the sound? As of now, at least.
As of right now, we've been just kind of like covering songs, just jamming out and stuff like that. But I think if anything, we can throw it back to like the early 2000s to like Weezer. Red Hot Chili Peppers is one of my biggest inspirations. Also like Radiohead, things of that nature, and then some like other like super edgy indie bands like the Native, like the Kooks. There's some just different like bands that are out there. I think there's another one, Cinema Door. It's like very indie, very out there. And we're working on it still, and I'm just trying to rearrange because I took like I said, the month of June and July. I took off from like the scene and stuff like that, from doing music, just enjoying the summer, taking care of family stuff. And when I reached out recently, like last week, my drummer got like a different job, so he's got a different schedule now. Oh, okay. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Like now we just work around it. We'll make it happen. And we're just gonna see where that leads. But for sure, I want to start going out there into the scene and stuff like that. Because believe it or not, like I have some pretty dope screams. Like my vocals, like believe it or not, like I can do some screams. And that was actually one of like, it was like a phase, dude. I was like 3 or 4 years where I was just like into that, like Pierce the Veil, like Sleeping with Sirens.
That's because
like,
they're coming to Edinburgh.
Yeah. Dude, that's super cool. So I'm just like those bands, or Silverstein, like all those bands were a good inspiration for me and stuff like that. And it would be nice to do some shows sometime, and it would be completely different out of like my comfort zone. Yeah, coming from like I just stand in front of a mic and I just like have a tip jar and stuff like that. To like trying to get.
That's why I recommended you to go to the open mics, because I think that would be like a good like easy way to like get into the scene. Because a lot of bands I know that started off that were here like kind of like Blam, Simply Blinded, and a bunch of others. All these guys, they started with the open mics. They started at the Gremlin. Then they started doing like scene shows. Yeah, dude, that's something that I want to get into, and I know that I've been a little bit distant from getting into the scene, getting into the I mentioned that it's the Paolo. He's been trying to get me to go out there to the Flying Walrus, and like just whatever situations that I'm not able to go, but I know he's just like, come on, bro, get out there. I want to hear your music there live. I want to hear it live. So I'm just like, dude, I'll go. So yeah, I know that there's definitely avenues out there. There's definitely there's a lot of venues that are doing open mics now. Even like when you told me about the guy who runs the Flying Walrus. Yeah, James. James is pretty into it, huh? He's been really invested. Like I told a few people, like my close friends, that he really wants to turn around the Walrus. And if you ever like pay attention to their Instagram, like there's been a lot of shows there. I know he has like free bookings on Sundays and Thursdays. Dude, he's gonna cover like the sound and like door person, and you're good. He's very invested in the scene. Really cool, dude. And I would love to meet the guy just to have those connections here in this area. And yeah, I mean like. And I was telling my guys, right, from like the little group we're getting together, like, hey, dude, the Flying Walrus, dude, like they got it going. Like, the guy is offering like a free venue, pretty much. That's really what it is, a free venue to really like, it's to expo your talent, to expo your original music, all that kind of stuff. And everyone has something to bring to the table. Yeah. I don't believe, or like, I mean, I don't think that there's like only certain people can be like the top dogs, I feel like everyone can have like their own, like space, their own way to express their art. And I think it's better. I think it's better that way, because otherwise you get like the audience too concentrated on one genre, and like they don't want to listen to others. Yeah. So I think it's best to have like a mix. I mean, what's his name? I also know of Gavino. Gavino, yeah, that guy is great. Dude, he's a rapper, man, and like I've seen like the videos on like Instagram, like he's rocking the crowd. Yeah, he's great. He's rocking the crowd. He's getting it. Everyone's grooving. Even Orpheus Bloom, like he's out there in the crowds. And then you get bands like the Blow Up Dolls that also, it's really like you go out there to have a fun time, whether you're performing or whether you're just there. Like people go out there to have a fun time. It's not really to be like who's better than everyone. And that's what I like about it, because there's a lot of mix there. Like there's some crossover, because I know Gavino, he's not like just he's in the scene, but he's also like in the rap scene. Like they have like their own. They have different audiences. Affiliations, yeah. And that's why when you have the Warriors, where it's combining everybody, it's mixing everybody in, you're just getting different audiences, and people are exposed to music they necessarily wouldn't listen to if they didn't want to, like didn't have to or want to. Yeah, definitely. I know that, like, to bring up, for example, there's this guy that I went to high school with. I know we talked about Inhibition music before the camera, but I'll get there in a little bit. But there was this guy his individual name was 204, like the numbers 200 and then spelled out 4.
and he's still on Spotify. And I went to high school with him, and this guy, he's got it, dude. Like I think I remember like him going to high school with him, and then he was like gone for a little while.
Yeah.
And then like and then he comes back. He's like, yeah, I have a studio, and like I did work in Austin. I'm just like, what, dude? And like he did like very like R&B rap type sounding, and I was just like, dude, this is like their bangers. Like he did his own recording, mixing, and mastering, and he did a really good job. Like I want to say that it's up there compared to like, you know, other individual artists like me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I remember him from high school, and life goes on, stuff like that. So then this year I went to a wrestling show with New Breed. It's a wrestling show here in the Valley.
Yeah.
And they played, there was a band playing during like the intermissions and stuff like that at the Landmark on Tower in Alamo. And I was just like listening to the singer, and I'm like, dude, that guy looks so familiar. Dude, turns out it was 204.
Oh,
the guy, like he went from R&B rap to like starting a band called Cheyenne, and like, dude, the guy's rocking country. Like he's rocking it. So he's got this band going on, and like, dude, they're like in the beach. They're always at the Landmark. They have different, like they're probably gigging 3 or 4 times a week. So it's really good for them. And like he's got it, man. He's got it, definitely. If you're looking for country, looking for like a really good country band sounding, Cheyenne is one of the good ones. That's
I heard that they make a lot of money, because I forget who it was. Like there's some guy who's like in a punk band or whatever, or a rapper, that he switched over to country music, and like the amount of money he made between like the rap or like punk music compared to country, like it was so
different.
crazy. Yeah. And he was getting gigs like in Houston and other places, like the rodeos and all stuff.
Yeah, like countries, that it's big, and especially in America. You go to anywhere in America, country's gonna be there. Like it's just it's one of those sounds that you can't escape, you know.
Yeah.
Opposed to like, I know some places like rap, certain underground raps, different.
Yeah, it's very niche.
Very niche. Yeah, like the way you say it, and I guess he figured it out for him, and like in his R&B songs, 204, he's got like this very like The Weeknd register. Like it sounds really clean, smooth vocals, right?
Yeah.
And then like a few years later, I see him and he's singing like super deep. Like he's singing super deep with the country, and I'm just like, dude, what the heck?
Damn, that's badass.
Yeah, very badass, and he's got it going, and that's one of the cool things to see. Like it works out, and I know I don't think they've been in like the Flying Walrus or anything like that, or if they've done any shows there. And if they haven't, they should, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got something going on, and I think that they're on the rise when it comes to.
Yeah, I think that's great, because not to put down the scene or anything like that, but like I think there should be like different audiences available to people, so it's just not concentrated on one specific group of people.
Yeah.
Because like maybe there's other people who like other music, and like let's say country music, that's not gonna fit in with the scene. I mean, that's totally different. So the fact that there's other audiences available that listen to music, I mean, it's great, because again, oversaturation, that's a killer.
Yeah, oversaturation is a real thing. You know, like if everyone just starts promoting only specifically post-punk, indie, alt gays, like if that's a very specific like.
And then you're trying to break in with that group, and you're doing country music, it's not gonna work out. So
definitely, man, and it's a really good thing, and you know, like to see that diversity, and like coming from like someone, and I don't want to say like I'm representing like the pop. Yeah, I don't want to say like I'm representing like.
Well, I don't know how many pop artists there is in the Valley.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of like.
Have you looked into it or no?
No, I haven't, dude. I know that there's. I mean, like, the closest person that I know that does like pop and takes it to their own and has like a very unique sound, and it's one of the things that I'm really excited for, is Martin Leon.
Yeah,
he's got. I mean, he does like
very John Mayer.
John Mayer, very pop. Like that's his thing, and I'm like, dude, that guy's he's got it. Yeah. He's got it, definitely. I know that like in 2 days he's dropping.
They're releasing music. Yeah,
music in 2 days, and like I'm just excited for that guy, because I mean, when I first started getting into like coffee shops and little little things like that, I remember him just booming. He's always been booming there, the McAllen Food Park and stuff like that. And I was just like, dude, that guy's cool. Like, just something about him. Like, I was just like, the way he plays, the way he sings, I was just like, that's a cool guy. You know?
It's very cool.
And yeah, I mean, like, definitely there's it's out there. Like, I know that for sure, he's kind of got like that pop John Mayer, like live band type thing going on, or his trio, right? But as far as pop artists,
Because the only person I could kind of think of that was from Brownsville was there's a band called Mr. Q.
and they're like pop,
They're like, well, I mean, I could play their music a little bit.
popish. Yeah.
Popish.
Are they on Spotify?
Because yeah, they're on Spotify. They get compared to like Disney music and Christian music. It's kind of weird. Like they mentioned it, like it's very whimsical. That's what they had called it. Let's see, you might find it before me. I don't think they mind me playing their music. They're really cool. So let's see. This is their top song right now. Yeah. I think it's considered pop, isn't it? But yeah, they're
Yeah,
very
that sounds
good.
really cool, man. They're from Brownsville, you
They're
said?
from Brownsville. And one girl who's kind of like a mix. I mean, before she was kind of like popish, was Italia
Okay, I think we did talk about her.
once.
We talked about her last year, right?
Yeah, I think so. But
And,
she does like, but now she's doing like a mix of Spanish music with reggaeton and a bunch of like, she's mixing it up. She's like very like anime based type stuff. So
I remember she had like this following, right? Like she had a little bit traction though. Yeah, dude. I don't know. There's not really much. Like I'm thinking about it right now. I'm just like, dude, who are the pop artists?
Yeah.
I know.
wait, there was one more. I
It was
remember.
David
Yeah,
and the Atom Cats.
It's
right?
kind of like well, there's kind of like the Beatles type stuff. So it's kind
It's
of like, pop
early,
rock.
like early
Yeah.
popish, I guess. But like
The other one was Lost in Limbo.
Lost in Limbo, dude. Yeah, the bass player Jeremy Diaz. Yeah, no, I know of them. They're really good. They got some cool music. I
I
know
wish I would see them because like I only saw them once perform and like
they were good, huh?
they were really good. Yeah.
Dude, yeah,
'Cause
they
I forget
don't.
if they opened up for somebody, I don't know who it was. Like a really big band, but like I don't care about them. Like I just came to see Lost in Limbo. Then I took off.
That's funny, dude. Yeah, he's got the grooves on the bass, and aside from him being like a bass player, like a phenomenal bass player, he's also really good at photography.
Oh, for reals?
Yeah, Jeremy, he's got some cool stuff. Like he's got a little side business, and I follow both his like personal, which is like a personal / musician,
Yeah.
and then I also follow his like business aspect, and I'm like, dude, his photos are like legit. So like, I'm just that guy should have like more opportunity with like getting in the scene and like doing photos for them because like he's got really good photos and stuff. And yeah, I totally forgot about Lost in Limbo. They
Haven't played in a while.
they're like a little bit of a hiatus but they got really good pop music. So I mean, there's very few.
There's very
handful.
few.
You
There's
talk
a-
about like rap, you can go off on a little bit more rap artists. You talk about like rock and
Yeah,
metal, and you
name
can
off
just start
people.
going off on there. But I'm just like, dude, am I like the only guy here? Like, am I the only pop artist? I'm like, because I mean, so far I've stuck to like more pop music. I mean,
Yeah.
Here was like the typical radio pop, like the snares, the kicks, the drums that I use, the synths were all like very pop. They were all very pop. And then this last song that I dropped, Ivory Skin, synthwave pop, synth pop. Like it's very. I know Orpheus also. He's got some pop sounding.
If anything, the only other bands I could think of was I'm not sure where Gusto Gusto falls on, where they fall on, and then also
popish indie.
Lunar Hearts.
I've heard of the name of the
'Cause
band.
It's like bedroom pop type stuff.
Bedroom pop. I haven't
Or
seen
dream
them.
pop.
Dream pop.
Yeah, I think that's what like, they were more or less fall under.
Yeah, because I was like, what is bed pop, right? And like, or bedroom pop. I'm like, I make pop music in my bedroom, but like, I kind of understand it now, like the style of music, the style of production, and but I think, what was it, Gusto? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Gusto Gusto.
Yeah, they got some good stuff. I mean, the guitarist Lucas was one of the guys that we've been jamming out recently, and you know they've got some cool stuff, and
Yeah.
I know Orpheus is going really towards that synthy sound. Like
Oh,
he's-
the last person. Now that I think about this, one more person, Mayberry.
I haven't heard of them.
So these guys, they were like really, really popular a while back, but then like the lead singer, for sure, I forgot his name. So he killed me. Nah, he's a good guy. So I can find his name real quick.
Cool.
But basically, he was in a band called Mayberry, and it was doing really well. But then he got into some kind of deals with like a lawyer or something like that, and basically it didn't work out. Like he was trying to like Disneyfy him,
Oh wow.
and well, he didn't want to do that. Like he didn't want to become like a Disney star type thing. And the guy still had him on contract, so for 2 years he couldn't do anything.
Wow.
And so like that kind of like hurt his career. But other than that, like he was doing really well.
Mayberry. Are they still doing music?
So I think he's still doing music under Stev. That's his name, Stevan. That's the guy. And he's still releasing, like right now he's like releasing covers. That's what he's mainly focusing on.
Oh wow, and he's from the Valley.
Yeah.
Iris. He's got some good stuff.
Yeah,
Even like his
music, like it got featured on some TV show. Like it's
wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And like I know for like pop artists, you kind of have to like look the part. For rock bands, you kind of have to look the part. You know, like he perform. He looks like a pop artist.
And his producer or whatever, like the group he works with, is the people for Boys Like Girls.
Oh, cool.
So like he has a very famous.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. He's got those connections going.
Yeah. So like that's about it. Like that's the thing. Like afterwards, that's.
Like what? Like after that, there's really no.
Because I wanted, like, for a while, like, I wanted to do a pop show, like actually like do something different besides the scene stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like finding artists that like fit the bill is just kind of like hard.
Yeah, and then I remember you had mentioned to me because I think you had started Joe Martin Presents. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like super for. I was like super excited. But it's also just a matter of like finding those artists because I'm sure there is someone that records. I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there in the RGV that they have little recordings of themselves or they sing.
Yeah.
And like it's very, different, something new. And I know for me at least, I can be one to say that like I was drawn towards it, like the music scene and stuff like that. Because I mean, before like 2021, I was just here in my room. Like, yeah. And I really feel like there should be like that opportunity for everyone. Yeah.
That's why I want to figure out where you guys are hiding.
Or like come out of your little,
come on.
Little shells and stuff.
There's a pop scene. Come on.
Yeah, I know they got to be there. And I know for sure one of the bands that also come to mind, and I think they're pretty underrated, man. And right now they haven't been releasing music, but I'm just like, hurry up and release stuff. And like every once in a blue moon, this band will drop like a sneak peek of a song, whether that's like a line of their song or like 5-6 seconds of their song. And I'm just like, dude, drop it already. But it was Inhibition music. We had talked about it.
Yeah.
So the main guy, Arnold, I went to high school with him. And I remember him like just primarily being like a guitar player. Same here. I was just playing guitar. He was playing guitar. And I remember him from high school. Arnold, if you're watching this, I remember when we had Chinese together. We had a class where they taught us Chinese.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, in PSJ.
Oh, damn.
They were teaching Chinese for like a few years. I don't know if they still do it, but we took Chinese literally. Like, you can take Spanish.
Yeah.
We took Chinese
when
together.
you said like we had Chinese, I thought you meant like food. And then
food? No, I mean like the class. Yeah, it sounds like we had Chinese together. No, but literally we had Chinese.
How was that?
It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was just like, my teacher was from China, obviously, right? And I guess they do it where like every year it changes teachers and stuff. And you learn about the culture. You learn. I can't remember any Chinese. I mean, there's very minimal that I can. He probably remembers more than me, but yeah. But I remember like having little talks and getting connected with him, and then like years later, seeing him and his band Inhibition Music started doing some stuff. Even Melvin Perez is one of the other members there. Great guys. They're also really one of my biggest supporters with my music because we kind of lean towards like the pop scene also. Their music's a little more indie like alt, but I like to say that if you were to label them under a pop, if you were to put them under like a pop lineup, then
they would be adjacent to it at least.
They would be adjacent for sure. And they need more recognition. So if you're from Inhibition, you're watching this, you guys need to drop your music already, bro. Yeah. Drop it. Like we're waiting, man. Just drop your music. And so, and there are tools. There are tools out here. I mean, Joe Martin Presents, Flying Walrus. Like there are people here that are waiting
to promote that. Yeah.
They're waiting for us to like just bring what we have to the Valley. Bring it out. And
yeah, because there's a lot of music right now. Like the Valley's really popping up. I mean, we also had the biggest one right now was the Grupo Frontera.
Yeah, dude, they're like Bad Bunny collabs, dude. That's like super crazy stuff. Like
it was Bad Bunny and there's the other person. I forget who it was.
Was it Peso Pluma?
Yeah, Peso Pluma. Yeah.
Dude, that's okay. So like, I don't even want to get into mainstream, bro. Let's just stay here in the Valley because like mainstream music, like Peso Pluma, like don't get me wrong, like he's got a big fan base.
Yeah.
He's iconic with his like
the mullet, whatever.
The mullet with the light skin color, like or whatever it is he's got going. Like he's making himself an icon.
Yeah.
His music though is it's not to my liking. I know some people do, and like some people like his voice.
I still remember that people thought they saw him at the mall when there was like some like lookalike,
some fake guy.
Some fake guy in there.
And I had seen. The funny thing is I had seen it on TikTok. and I think they had done it like in San Antonio or like Houston, right?
Yeah.
And then like again, I see it like they try doing it again like at different malls, and so I'm just like, it's funny.
And it works.
It works. Like I remember seeing on the TikTok like the whole floor, like the balcony, was flooded with people. Like they had to evacuate people because like people thought he was in the store, and they had to like lock the
yeah,
store.
I saw on TikTok, Twitter, and it's like a bunch of like other like everybody was sharing it. I'm like, it's not him.
Yeah, it's not. And I mean, I don't know.
It's because he like certain like neck tattoos, and like that wasn't working. I'm like, it wasn't matching. I'm like, no, it's not him.
Yeah, I think they said he had like a neck tattoo. Obviously, that if you knew Peso Pluma, you would know that he's got that.
But it's just that he looked okay enough for it to pass.
Yeah.
Because we also had the other guy. What's his name? The other lookalike, Bronco 956.
Oh yeah.
That was also another guy who's kind of like
popping off.
But then he recently like fell off. So
I guess. I mean, I remember like they made T-shirts and stuff like that. They're setting at the flea market. Like, it's super random. I'm like, okay.
And the funny thing is, like from what I read, the actual artist doesn't like him and kicked him out of the stadium.
What? That's crazy.
Because like they told him like, oh yeah, like he wants to talk to you. they threw him around the exit.
That's funny, dude.
But their reasoning was that he might cause like issues because like if everybody wanted pictures in a stadium, it would cause like security issues basically.
Security issues. I mean, also like you talk about like. It's just publicity also.
Yeah,
like,
that's the other thing. He was getting publicity off the actual artists.
Very iffy. And but you know, like that's why like for me, like don't get me wrong, I like there's some mainstream artists that I look up to. Even like to my last recent music, like we talked about Tory Lanez. I think that guy's doing a great job at what he's doing right now. Unfortunately, I think he's in jail. I think he got charges against like again, like dramas everywhere, dude. Like I think he had like hired someone to like I don't know how he's affiliated. Some other artist got shot in the foot or something, or like I don't know how it worked, and like it pinpointed back to him.
Damn.
And it was because they were sleeping together, and it was like I think Megan Thee Stallion, like and like this guy. So it's like super random, but like his music's pretty good. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not like a hater of like mainstream music. There's good music out there, and I feel like whenever. Regardless of who it is or where it is, good music's out there, and like regardless of who it comes from. That's why I'm not like judging whether it's like, hey, you're only like a indie band. Why are you releasing country or like, or, you know, if it's good music,
it's good music.
It's good music. It's hands down. And
and it's like I forget who I was telling that. Like if someone was gonna pop up from the valley, it was gonna be either like country music or like Mexican folk music, whatever it's called, like conjunto mix.
Yeah, norteños, that kind of stuff.
Because the only other person before was Freddie Fender. Like that was like the biggest.
Yeah, from San Benito, right?
San Benito, yeah.
Yeah, dude, and like Grupo Frontera, like they were one of the ones that popped off and stuff like that. And
again, they weren't involved in instance. What they would do is, from what my understanding, is that they would do like a lot of weddings, personal events, and that's got cool. Them a following.
That's cool, man. Like that's cool. Like to think that they didn't like try to put themselves out there as in like the scenes, like the scene.
Yeah.
They were just like, hey, we're a band. We play good music. Let's get hired and get paid.
Yeah.
Like at a wedding or something. Or like,
and it's why like I want to like talk to certain bands that I'm friends with because I want them to pop off.
Yeah.
I'm like just because there's something called like in business called the blue ocean strategy where the red ocean strategy is basically these are like the if a market's already saturated, there's no point of trying to compete with the big people there because I mean there's already an audience and for you to get a slice of the market share it's gonna be really tough. But there's the blue ocean where there's all these other people who are not getting like an audience and there's like a need for it or a demand for music. You can like, get in there.
Yeah.
A big example was like the Wii. It was like it didn't go towards the hardcore gamers. It went towards the casual gamers. So you got like nursing homes, you got schools, all these audiences, and the Wii blew off. Like it really got really popular.
Wow.
But it wasn't targeted towards the hardcore gamers, which you know there's a different audience.
Yeah,
and so like
definitely.
The hardcore audience here is the scene. But if you could get your music into other people who normally aren't part of the scene, you can pop off and become famous because you don't. Not that you don't need to see it, but like just a whole other audience that's not listening to people's music at all.
Yeah, definitely, dude. That's like, it's a big world out there.
Yeah.
And they say like, oh, it's a small world out there, but it's small, but it's big.
It's big in terms of like how many people are out there, but like in terms of people actively participate in the community.
Yeah,
that's where it gets small.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure that there are really good musicians, really good artists that are out there that are listeners instead of performers.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like we got the tools. Like if you know, like if you do music and like you're into that kind of stuff, like there's ways to get traction. There's ways to get like publicity. Joe Martin presents, Joe Martin show. Like these are all
even
tools.
without stuff like that, like TikTok's the biggest thing right now. That's the one where I think people should really focus on, because there's people who are getting a lot of like bigger audiences. Like they already have big audiences, but like they get bigger audiences because of TikTok.
Yeah.
I know Blair had mentioned that. There's another guy named Lord Division that he doesn't really like perform that much here.
They've got some. They're pretty big too.
Yeah, they're big, but like they don't really perform here. But like on TikTok, like that really helped them like get big. And now they're like in California and like other areas.
Wow, that's cool. So they're already above that kind of stage. I guess there's different levels of it, you know, like
Yeah. It also really depends on your genre as well.
yeah, I know like for me, like I mean I guess there's stages, yeah. Like there's the beginner stage, like when I was first into the coffee, you know, then like where I'm at now, there's a big step, and then where I wanna be, that's another big step. And then like above the local scene, there's other local scenes in different cities, and that's when it can get big.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really good.
Yeah, and again, like it also depends on your genre, because I know like one of my friends, he's doing post-punk music. That one, yes, you can be in the scene as well, but like the primary like audience is like either bars or like clubs, because when it comes to like that kind of music, like you have to dance to it.
Yeah.
So you can't really do that in certain areas. Like it doesn't make sense to be doing like dance music at a backyard show compared to an actual club where people are already in that vibe.
Or like doing dance music at like the McAllen food truck park.
Yeah, like it's just
it doesn't jive.
it doesn't vibe. Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I mean, like, it's one of the things that I think is really cool, and I love like I know the last time we might have not really talked a lot about like the music scene, because I mean I wasn't even in there to like have experience.
I was still kind of brand new because it was in March or April.
I think I was like number 7.
Yeah.
Episode 7.
So like I was still.
I forgot what episode I was, but it was like
Let me look for it. But yeah,
it was like episode 7 or 9, one of those.
Yeah. So like even me, like I was still a newbie in the scene. Let's see.
I was actually watching your video not too long ago.
Which one of all of them?
I was watching
You were number 9.
the most recent one, which with what's his name? What was that band? Guilty Pleasure.
Guilty Pleasure, yeah.
You did that one like what, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah. It takes a while for my episodes to come out. I usually tell people like, oh, it takes like a week or two. And the reason why is because like my producer was on vacation, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So like created like a gap.
Yeah, and I mean it's cool. I mean everyone takes vacations. Everyone needs.
No, they need vacations, and he's a very hard worker because he's not only like producing like for the podcast, but like he has his own studio. He does the production for his church, like he does the sound there, and he has like other jobs. So I'm like, that guy's.
He's always busy.
He's always busy.
So it was his affiliation with
Creative Cave. Adrian, and I think I believe it was a vacation or he got married. I think it was both.
Or both.
Or both.
That's funny.
He's like quits.
But they're from Brownsville?
Yeah, he's from Brownsville.
They're from Brownsville.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And his studio is like, it's like in a warehouse type situation where, like, if you ever go there, there's like a lot of trucks, because it's like I believe it's like storage for like car parts and all stuff, because like the company works with commerce with Mexico, because sometimes you can store stuff in the US and then ship it to Mexico, vice versa and all stuff.
It's one of those, like a storage, a warehouse.
Yeah, storage, the warehouse. And so like he has a studio in there, and
that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's convenient for him because his family, I think his family owns it, so like it's
really cool.
It's really cool, and like once you go to the studio, like it's very nice. He upgraded everything, and it's
sounds like a blast.
Yeah,
I bet, because I mean, like, I was thinking about it, right? Like, I know when I told you 204, aside from him being an artist, he was also a producer.
Yeah.
So I know that he would mix and master other people's music, and he would like literally like have people come to his house.
Yeah.
And like he has neighbors and stuff like that. So like, I'm sure it can get rowdy, and I'm sure like complaints and stuff like that. Or
yeah, that's the thing where you gotta be careful.
I know like some people also try throwing their like shows or in neighborhoods and stuff like that.
It gets rough. Like if you don't like talk with your neighbors, it could get really bad. So I know it's been happening with 707, and that's because they're an actual venue where sometimes they get complaints from the police because people are like blocking driveways or they're not parking correctly. So like, so I know like at least 2 shows have been like shut down. Just
wow, that's crazy. Just because of how much of not unorganized, but more like how much of the issues.
It's just people not doing what they're supposed to. When they get told park a certain way, don't block driveways, and they still.
Some people, that's the valley.
Yeah,
people they parquear in different places. But dude, I mean, like, it's one of the things. I know 707 is one of the ones that I would like to go to.
Yeah, they're great.
You know, also Flying Walrus, which today they're gonna have their open mic, and I'll be going to that one.
If you
So,
go, I'll go.
yeah, I'll go to that one for sure. What time? You know, usually what time they start?
They start signing up around 8 or 9. I think it's 8.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like the Gremlin. Like they
Yeah.
started theirs around 10ish, right? Like they're open
Before,
mics.
I think they made it earlier now because the previous host wanted to have it at 9:56. So like that was this
Funny.
thing, and then like I think the new host made it a little bit earlier because more people signed up.
Convenience,
So,
yeah.
Convenience, yeah.
Instead of making a bunch of people wait, and then like the more people you have signed up,
Yeah, then it goes it's like the really nighttime, and by the time people leave,
yeah, it's like 1 or 2, and people are like
yeah,
trying
people
to
are
go home
gone.
already.
Yeah, people are gone. They're gone or
they're drunk already,
They're gone.
They're gone or they're gone.
They're gone or they're gone.
That's funny. Yeah, but I guess it's a fun thing to see people like, you know, just jam out and stuff. So I would like to go out there and see the. I'll probably go out there to perform. I mean, like
Yeah.
normally what I would do is I would go watch and then go back and perform. But I mean, I like to just jump in there already. You know, it's kind of at some point I have to kind of do it.
No, yeah, definitely. You have to just. All there is to do is just do it. The whole Nike thing, just do it.
Just do it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
literally, that's all it is because some people get stuck in the planning phase and they never like move forward, and that's something I struggled with. Where
bro.
I was always like, oh, how do I do this perfectly? And there's no,
there's no perfect way to do
just
it.
do it and stay consistent. That's the harder part.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that goes for a lot of things in life. I know for me when I was like last year, I was a little bit more committed to like my fitness, my life, and stuff like that, my health, and then like it's all about staying committed. Like obviously, from last year to this year, I gained a few pounds. I mean,
Yeah, same.
and then like, you know, like with anything like writing music, you only get good by consistency and stuff. And well, you know, I took a little break for the summer, but like it's time to get back on the ball.
Yeah, same. It's time to get back on the wagon and just go at it.
It'll be fun, man. But yeah, any other questions or anything like that?
No, not really. What time is it? Just to make sure.
We're at about 3.
So usually that's 2 questions. Or the next question I usually ask my guests is, what was your favorite part of the podcast?
My favorite part of the podcast? Let me really think about it. All the shit talk we were doing. Not playing.
Yeah, shouldn't talk shit
We
talking
were
all the
talking
bands.
shit about everyone. Like, man, these people suck.
Back, yeah.
No, I mean, I think the cool part about the coolest part about the podcast was, I mean, dude, that's kind of like a hard thing to answer because like I would say it would be maybe about me, but I'm just like I really like talking about the scene because I feel like we spent a good amount of time talking about music and here in the valley and stuff like that. But it was good, definitely, to like, you know, just to reintroduce myself to not only your new fans but like you know, people that have seen me already, and I'm sure that people that have already seen me can see the difference in like my, you know, either my music or my appearance or whatever it is, and it's cool. It's cool to think about like the people that are gonna see this like, oh, he does pop, you know.
Yeah.
As long as like this can be at some point a little bit more encouraging for others, because let's say some of your viewers that are out there watching and they're pop viewers,
and they're afraid of getting in because there's not many venues, or they're not aware of the venues at least.
Yeah, I feel like more than anything of this just being like a podcast and me talking about myself and you know, my writing process and stuff like that, I feel like I wanted to emphasize a little bit more also on like how it's out there, like how there's tools out there.
Yeah.
I mean, for like, I'm just one man alone. I can't be like one whole pop scene, you know? It just won't work that way. I can't go to like
But you could at least start it off.
start it, you know,
Because
and
I
like
think that's what needs to start happening. Where like if we want to encourage more people to go, you need to put yourself out there. You can't just be releasing your music online and then.
yeah, dude, for sure. That's one of the things that I need to start getting consistent with.
So I think maybe this time around I could finally do a pop show. Like get some of you guys in there and just.
Yes,
where
maybe
it goes.
sometime in the fall we can get something going. I mean, there's got to be pop people out there. I'll reach out. I know I have some people that are.
I already have people in mind as well. So like it's just a matter, and I think the Words will be the perfect place because they're very like open to different genres, and I think that would be
for sure.
That would be the spot.
It almost seems like the ideas that we had last year, I mean, they were great ideas of opening, you know, Joe Martin Presents and then like just talking about the pop scene. But it almost seems like everything's starting to just align more. That like the venues are there, you know, the sound is there, the marketing is there. You know, now we're just looking for the talent.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of people, you're thinking of people. You know, we can make something happen.
I definitely am. I feel this time I actually feel good about it because now that I'm more involved with the scene, so like I know what to expect, what to go through. It's gonna be a lot easier.
Yeah, and I'm on the same boat. Now that I've, you know, done some gigging, stuff like that, it's a little bit easier for me to be like, okay, yeah, let's take the lead and let's just get it going, you know?
Yeah.
But definitely,
That's the growth of the year.
Definitely. That's good to think about.
If you want to like plug in your social media, your music, and all that stuff.
Definitely. Before we leave, I'm getting coupons from Wing Barn.
Nice.
If you put your phone number on Wing Barn, dude, they have like crazy. Dude, Wing Barn has crazy coupons. Like, let me show you like some of the past ones.
Sure.
So like, they'll tell you like, oh, are you a member? And usually I'll be like, oh no, I'm good. I just want to eat, right? And I won't like put my stuff. I did because my friend was like, dude, put your number, and they'll send you like coupons to your phone.
Yeah.
So like, let me see.
The one I recently did was with McDonald's. They had like a bunch of like free food.
Yeah, they're just throwing food
They're throwing
out.
free out there. I'm like, hey, why not?
Like for example, Wing Barn had free 5 wings, like just for free. Like,
Just for free, yeah.
like just show us like.
And they're a
The
local.
text.
They're a local business too.
And they're local, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, dude, that's cool. Today I just got one literally right now, like a minute ago. It says, get free wings when you do like the 5, 10, or 25 wings. So it's like,
It's free food.
and then half off appetizers. Bro,
Why not?
I'm all about it. But let me show you my my Instagram and stuff like that.
Instagram, music, and all that stuff.
So you can find me right now under my pop name, right? Just Favian Villa, which is Favilla. That's on Instagram. That's _ Favian Villa. But if you look for me on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, I'm everywhere. Amazon Music, it's gonna be under Favian Villa. Yeah, I've got some new music out that I just dropped. Ivory Skin. I think for that, I had this idea of making like another EP, but very pop synth, and it's still in the works. I want to see where I'm playing it, kind of just like the way things flow right now. But yeah, Ivory Skin's out. Stream it on all platforms. YouTube also. If you want to go check out my sadder, depressing music, Broken People EP from 2022. I'd really appreciate the support, guys. But I'll see you guys soon. I mean, I'll be out there in the scene too, so you guys will be seeing from me more.
Right. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Latest.